Ladies, gentlemen, folks beyond the binary, grab your husband, wife, partner, mistress, a little person, a strong man, your ghost nanny, and gather around your radio. It's time for this week's meeting of the Erotic Thriller Club.
Not rude or crude, he's always tastefully nude. In this hardcore world, he's a softcore dude. His antithesis, mysterious and dangerous. And oh yes, they've got all the sexiest movies out on VHS. So if you're fatally attracted to the racier stuff, Erotic Film Club basically instinctively crave the salacious. Erotic Film Club. If you want a racy movie and you're too classy for smart, Erotic Film Club. We can watch them and discuss them all ad nauseam. Erotic Film Club.
Picture this. You're Audrey from Twin Peaks, and you've inherited a spooky castle in Italy. Day one, a freak show sets up in your front yard. You invite the freaks back to the house for dinner and get sexually assaulted by twin wizard werebeasts. But don't worry, within maybe 48 hours' time, you're deeply in love with the nicer of the two rape monsters. Time to put on your best werewolf O-face. This week on the Erotic Thriller Club, Meridian, Kiss of the Beast. Hey everybody, welcome to the Erotic Thriller Club. As always, you're here with Garrett Callender and Kit Ryan.
This is where we take on the genre's three most important questions. Was I aroused? Was I thrilled? And would I ruin my life for this person?
This week we welcome to the club writer, director, and an insanely talented movie poster artist, Anthony Knasas. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Do you mean that?
Yeah, do you? You can't possibly mean that after what we've experienced.
Look, I get to talk about movies. I'm very happy to do that. And this was quite the movie.
So, Kit, I will say this. You're meeting Anthony for the first time. Anthony and I go back over a decade at this point. We met on working on, I don't know, it was like a commercial set or a music video set. And we've been pals since, but Anthony has a passion for the art of making movies unlike anyone I've ever met. I don't know if I know anyone who respects the art more than this guy that's in front of us.
You chose this for him?
So I want to let Anthony...
And you did this to someone who appreciates the craft and artistry of movie making. You decided that this was what you wanted to hear him opine on.
I feel seen. Thank you very much.
I do think it's important for Anthony to know that he is the first guest that I didn't let choose the movie.
That should be very
You usually
obvious.
let them choose? Are you kidding me?
No one else has had to do anything like what you are currently experiencing.
God.
We're friends, and I knew that our friendship could heal from this.
Are you sure? Are you sure? I don't know if our friendship is gonna heal from this, Garrett.
God, now I want to walk into that scary rock thing that they all come out of and go back into and
Yeah.
at the end.
Back to the circus realm from whence they came.
I love how sad that the little person was with the whip. The guy who was from Willow.
That is the guy from Willow?
He's in Willow. He's
oh shit.
He's one of the warriors. One of the Nelwyn warriors, I think. Right?
Yeah, he is. I could pull up his name, but why give him credit for something he doesn't want credit for?
Honestly, he probably wants to forget this as much as I want to forget it.
But before we hop into this fucked up movie, I do want to ask Anthony, as I ask everybody, as somebody who loves cinema, where does the erotic thriller, where does it play? What's its place in the history of cinema for you? Does it have a positive place on the shelf?
something happened in the late 80s and early 90s where, everyone got horny in Hollywood.
Mhm.
It was just steam and fire and shadows and who is it? Who's the director of Fatal Attraction? Adrian Lyne.
Yeah.
His visual style really, I mean, you could say he was inspired by Ridley Scott with the way he lit Blade Runner, how the way they made Blade Runner look. But you just see the way Adrian Lyne made those movies, and it's like you can just tell he influenced so many filmmakers during that time to make stuff, steamy and sexy and dangerous and, jagged, sharp. I don't know what it
Fucky.
was. And then fucky. And then it just kind of it just turned into something else. And I don't know. It was adults. That was one thing, it was all adults in those movies. Whereas in the following decade, it was all teens. You get into like Cruel Intentions and stuff where it went.
Oh yeah.
But I think like the initial, wave of those, I mean, because before that there wasn't anything. What was there? The Postman Always Rings Twice with Jack Nicholson and Jessica Lange, or the softcore porn movies, like this was like a balance. It was like they could get away with certain things and yet still have production value. And some good movies came out of it. Fatal Attraction is like one of my favorite movies, period. I think that's a great film.
I bet you wish we had asked you here to talk about that instead of this.
4,000%. Yes.
Well, if you have fun by the end of this show, you're absolutely invited back to do whatever movie you want. Your choice.
Awesome.
Uh,
Awesome.
I like
But-
that apparently he has to earn what you just gave to our other guests.
I've had, trust me, I love our guests. I love every guest we've had. But I think that the guests all got caught in this place of wanting me to watch and talk about a good movie. And I think that there's a whole nother level to erotic thrillers. Yes, there's some really fucking great erotic thrillers out there. You named a couple of them then. But there's also just this enormous treasure trove of dog shit.
And Garrett, you know that was my first response to watching this last night. I texted you, quote, "What a pile of dog shit."
Garrett, what did I text you?
Let's see. I can pull her up real quick. You text me, Garrett, why are you making me watch this? I thought we were friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I said, I've watched it twice in 2 days, alone and sober. And you said, so you hate yourself as well as me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Who is the director? Charles what?
It's Charles Band.
Charles Band. I'm sure this is exactly what Charles Band hoped people who watch his movie would say.
Oh, I'm sure. Garrett, how did you even find out about this thing?
Yeah, seriously. How did you find this fucking thing?
Thank you for asking me. This is also why I selected this film. It isn't because if you do look at Charles Band's lineup, he did the original Puppet Masters. He did that whole line of dog shit movies like the Ginger Dead Man and Evil Bong series that is just like a popular B horror movie through the 2000s, that million sequels. But
Puppet
I was
Master,
looking,
yeah.
I was looking at a list of erotic thrillers. There's a huge list on Wikipedia, and it goes by year, shows you every one. But when I got to 1990, the thing that drew my attention was that this had a colon and then more words after the title. And in my experience,
Garrett,
I'm very
cannot
drawn
be
into any movie that has a colon and then has to tell me just a little bit more.
And it did, because I don't think the title ever came up, was relevant, made any sense at all. Why didn't
Thank
they
you
just
for
call
saying
it
that.
Kiss of the Beast? Because did you see anything Meridian related?
No, I know. I when I was going into this today, I said but where did they say Meridian? And I thought I missed something. I thought I didn't do my homework. I thought
It's a running theme with all the movies we've watched that at some point you think you missed something. At some point, the movie makes you feel stupid. Don't let the movie have that power over you. It's never you. But as far as the where that started for me, my love of a colon something else was in
Mm.
college when the movie Supercross the movie came out. I loved that it included colon the movie to assure me that what was in the theater was in fact a film.
And that you hadn't accidentally stumbled into what, like a season long TV show instead?
Could have been anything. But let's dive into this dog shit that we made
Oh my
our dear friend Anthony watch and just hear his thoughts. Um, before we say anything mean about this movie, I'm going to start with the biggest compliment that there is to give. The opening credits looked really nice. It had a real 90s Tim Burton vibe, and it kind of eases you in to think maybe this isn't going to be as big of a pile of dog shit as the poster would lead you to believe. All right, guys,
Yeah, the
open
music was
season.
pretty
Fucking kill
epic.
this movie.
Oh, thank God, thank God. So, we start with a circus from a glowing rock, right? Like that's where we opened with is after the credits of pretty music and statuary, and then it's like, hey guys, it's a little person with a whip walking out of a glowing rock.
and it's usually, when you do that, when you set your movie up with that type of mystery, at some point you explain what that mystery is. Nope, not the case with Meridian.
This movie's under 90 minutes and they trim the fat. You don't need
Uh-huh.
bullshit exposition. Where are they at? They're in the fucking freak realm for all I know. Maybe they're just living in the basement of this rock face. Who knows? Who gives a
They
shit?
don't even bother to
Beastman
properly
fucked.
explain the curse until after the guy's been like killed and the curse is ended. At the very end, they're like, "Oh yeah, by the way, that was another way that you could end the curse, I guess." So do you want to come back to my rock with me?
I think there's like a handful of things this movie fails to I don't know, fail, but they show me things that give me questions that I could ask that don't really get answered. Like for instance, we see a little boy deliver a painting to the church and they're like, we don't want this dog shit painting, and then like some weirdos like,
That
that's a
guy.
15th century frame. He's like, see, somebody just fucking Thomas Kincaided over the top of it.
Listen, I watch a lot of those like painting restoration videos on YouTube because my partner finds them very relaxing. And I was like, none of this is how you are supposed to treat a painting from the 15th century. Y'all are just wiping away at it with cloth, you're scraping at it.
Yeah,
This
and I
cannot
didn't
be
believe the
appropriate.
the technician. I just didn't believe that she knew what she was doing. I'm sorry. She was there to part. She was there to party. She wanted to bang one of the circus freaks. She did not seem
But she
Immediate.
she did not seem like the type that is going to restore paintings. I'm sorry,
takes art
not
conservation
buying it.
very seriously.
She was the most erotic part of the movie because later when she's restoring the painting, she's doing it braless in a very tight red shirt. And I found that to be the most erotic thing that like happened because it was the only time that rape wasn't involved in something sexy.
Yeah. I wrote down how many different types of rape are either in or mentioned. Oh, I got you with that one, huh, Garrett? Oh, I made Garrett spit out his drink. I'm proud of myself now. Yeah, all the different types of rape. We have gang, date,
Yee, yee,
statutory,
yee.
and forcible.
What would the judge say about pretending to be your twin brother and getting her warmed up? And she thinks it's already happened, but
Ooh.
it's now a new person.
I think there is a term for that, like deceptive or something, because there is actually like that is illegal to pretend to be your. There has been a case where someone pretended to be their own twin so that
Really?
they could rape the girlfriend of the brother. That is
Oh my God.
absolutely a thing that has happened. Yes, 100%.
Yeah, if anybody listening is wondering, will there be trigger warnings? Normally, like rape in a movie, like really, like I mean, it's very uncomfortable and it makes me not want to continue watching. But I've never seen it in a movie where it's a werewolf.
Honestly, like normally if there's a rape scene, I just turn the movie off. I'm like, I don't need that shit in my life. I was happy before. But this rape, this rape, this rape didn't bother me as much. I guess because the whole thing was so fucking stupid and ridiculous that like I just couldn't bring myself
Yeah, I wanted to
to
see
really give a shit.
how far they were
It's
willing to
like
go and you know, being awful, how bad they could go, how far. Yeah. That was really
pretty
the only like
far.
reason I
Pretty
kept watching those scenes, because
far.
it was just like, all right, like what are you gonna try to what are you gonna try to do here? Like I just couldn't believe what they were doing. I mean, who is that
So
guy supposed to be? Like a count? The magician.
a
Right, right,
magician.
right.
He's a magician.
We put their names in quotes here. There's bad rape wizard and good rape wizard.
Okay, you say good rape wizard, but the thing that makes him a quote unquote
Well, that's
good
why it's in
rape
quotes. It's
wizard.
not
What?
like
Yes, I need to explain that the thing that makes him a good rape wizard is that he says, "Don't cry."
he's
That's
the
literally the only difference between him and the other guy. Is he says, "Don't cry" first.
he's the rapist with a heart of gold.
not
Oh,
really though.
shut.
Like this is what okay, guys, this is what's fucked up about one of the many fucked up things about this movie. So these two rape wizards have a curse put upon them where the only way they can die is to be killed by somebody who loves them. So the rapist
Mhm.
has to seduce this woman. And basically before he does what he does, he says, "You must love me." Like, what the fuck? There has to be
Uh-uh.
like they're 400 years old. This is basically
Mhm.
50 First Dates with Adam Sandler for them, where he's tried this for 400 years with the women of this castle. And
You just pop out of your glowing rock with all your circus friends. Who are they cursed as well? I don't know. But they come along and then you gotta try to seduce the lady of the house so she can kill you.
he's like, "I'm just hoping that she likes me enough quickly that she'll tell me she loves me and then murder me."
Great idea
Like
for a
his
movie.
plan, like I mean, he's in a bad
Mhm. I want to be at the pitch
Exactly.
meeting for this shit.
Exactly.
Well, I would love to be at the round table of freaks down in the red
Ugh.
hole where he's just like, "All right, little guy, you slip her a Mickey."
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, we have to discuss this circus, which is
Oh
the
man, yeah.
rinkiest of rinky dink. It is so cheap and so shitty. And like they do the thing where it's like he disappears into this box and appears in another box. Like the prestige, this fucking ain't, because there's like 3 feet in between those boxes. He doesn't need to have had a twin for this to work. He could have just like
Great
ducked out the back and moved
great
to the
point. And
side,
and
and it would
I
have
felt the
been
same way about
fine.
the crossbow stunt, which was literally what, 2.5 feet
Mm.
between them, and everybody
Yeah.
clapped.
Oh, I managed to not shoot.
Whoa.
Yeah, and that's the thing, you also had your strong man lifting a little person, like, "Oh, look at that big strong
Whoa.
man lifting a little person."
So the one wizard is a bad wizard. You see his face. Brother, who we don't know is a twin yet, is under a mask. He's under a hood, as we say in wrestling. And basically, yeah, with that crossbow, he's 2 feet away. He's like somebody's little sister with the
Yes.
zap gun and Mario playing Duck Hunt, like right against the screen, being
Yeah.
like, "I fucking nailed it! High
It's like
score!"
And it's this level of overconfidence that I think leads to the problem of like he needs to be able to shoot, like oh, he's got to make this shot at the end of the movie to shoot his brother and not the girl, and it's like they are so far apart from each other. Did your aim not improve at all in 400 years? You have not gotten
Great
any
point.
better with that
Great point.
crossbow.
One of the many plot holes of this picture.
You know what? Good point. Why the fuck am I even bothering?
You're wondering, does his aim get better over 400 years when he's still been trying the rape thing for 400 years to make a woman love him?
Really
Like,
good point, Garrett.
he's not like a bright man, and he's not a
The
particularly handsome man.
the shirtless shots. I was
He's
like, whoa. He's so average. He's so average. He's so sexy in his averageness.
So normal. Woohoo! And then he's even better looking when he's covered in fur and his face is all I don't even know, Garrett, how would you describe that face of the beast?
I'm still trying to forget about it.
pained. Like, even when he's coming, it looks like it hurts. It made me wonder if, like, you know how like a cat has like the barbed penis and like a duck has the corkscrew penis? I wonder
Uh-huh.
Oh,
if he has something that
yeah.
hurts him.
In which case, he doesn't need to go around raping people. I'm just saying that it was an option not to rape is a possibility.
It's the plan, and we stick to the plan.
Okay. My bad.
Anthony, as far as like makeup effects go for the Wolfman, how does the transformation compare to old movies? How does the wolf look?
Well, I thought it was interesting in the opening credit sequence, which was you guys said it was good. I fell for it too because I kind of was like, oh, there's a score, that it sounds, it doesn't sound like John Williams, but it sounds like there's an orchestral score, which is always a plus. There's some care there. There's some care to make it good. I also thought it was very reminiscent of the opening of Psycho. I felt like they were going for Psycho vibes, just with like
Okay.
this is a scary movie, and let's start it off right at the beginning with making it sound scary with the credits. That was just my first thought with that. But in those credits, for the effects work, I saw it was by Greg Canham, and he was the guy that did the vampires for Lost Boys.
No
Oh,
shit.
shit.
Yeah, and he had already done Lost Boys, so I'm heartbroken that he went from Lost Boys to this.
Oof.
Like, I don't know,
Okay.
was Meridian sold as like, something amazing? Did Charles Band just really have a great pitch for Meridian to Greg Canham, to make him do this movie? Like,
Did he owe somebody money?
exactly,
Anthony,
exactly.
you bring up a good point and like a theme that I felt throughout the movie, which is you named a talented person who you felt bad for. I felt the same thing with Sherilyn Fenn, who was already on Twin Peaks. Like,
This is
Oh, man.
This is heartbreaking. I have never seen Twin Peaks. It's always been on my lists for like 20 years to see that, and I want to see it. And I've never seen her in that. So this was my introduction to Sherilyn Fenn.
she's good. Twin Peaks is one of the best shows ever. And in this, like, it just made me think, like, you probably went to acting school. You
Right.
like had to tell your parents you're filming a movie, and then there's a full on like you're nude and there is a wolfman very gently humping at you.
Right. Right. Like, that was one of the first things, that was one of the strongest thoughts I had when it was over. Like, she went to the premiere. She sat in an audience full of people, and they all had to watch her get raped for very long scenes. First by the magician, with the wonderfully average body, and then by the Wolfman with his horrific, screaming orgasm. I mean, just imagine you're sitting in the fucking theater on opening night with your parents, with your loved ones.
Oh God, no!
It's
I'm
we got
dying from secondhand embarrassment.
we got the guy, who did the vampire effects for Lost Boys. This is going to be great. And then having to sit through that, it was heartbreaking. Movies are a bitch to make. Movies are really, really hard to make. And you can watch this and think like, all right, like, okay, they got a castle to themselves, or they were able to shoot at this castle. They had a budget for effects work with the Wolfman. They got
Somebody
Sherilyn
paid for a
Fenn.
mediocre painting.
Like there's elements in there that like are understandable, but like, oh man, just the finished product. It's just I don't know what they were going for here. You can tell a lot of like producers were probably like, we need more tits, show more tits, even though it makes no sense to the story. But
I think you make an interesting point, though, that there is something particularly embarrassing, though, about sitting there at the premiere and realizing that your loved ones are about to watch you get raped by a man with poofy sleeves.
sensational.
Which I cannot imagine a worse feeling.
Sensational
I
porn.
mean, not, yeah. Mm-mm.
So yeah, as the Wolfman lightly humps on her and he does come to climax and the camera zooms in on his face, I'd like it if all three of us can go in a circle and give your best impression of a werewolf reaching climax.
Oh, you son of a bitch. Okay, who's going to go first?
See, here's the thing: is all I could think about at the time was, the Animorphs books and the Middle Morph, which is when like it's perfectly in between an animal and a person, and that's always when the picture on the front looks the jankiest. That's all I could see when he was coming, was that he was in that Middle Morph. Yeah. Hey, good one.
He was like,
he seems just as confused and upset as the woman he was raping.
It looked like it hurt. Yeah.
I know. Did Charles, like, I wonder how Charles Band directed that scene. Like, did he say at some point, okay, let's try it again, but this time when you're coming, act more confused.
Yeah. Yeah, Garrett, do it again, but this time more confused. All right, cross your eyes a little bit. Yeah, there you go.
Did the Wolfman cross his eyes a little?
Just a little bit.
Oh my God.
Well, the Wolfman was played by Alex Daniels, who went on to play in the NFL for the Raiders, the Cowboys, the Saints, before he got sent to the Canadian Football League to play for the Edmonton Eskimos.
I wonder if his nickname was Wolfman.
It should have been.
He kept this movie off his Wikipedia page. It is not mentioned. And I think I'm going to edit it, add that photo.
Please do.
Because this isn't the only time he just hollers. He doesn't howl.
Imagine if your teammates saw this movie, they would never let you live it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fucking Dallas Cowboys probably saw it, and that's how he ended up in Edmonton. Playing football in Canada, where I didn't know they were allowed.
What's his name again?
Alex Daniels.
I mean, you can see it. Alex, would you come into the coach's office? Look, Alex, we saw Meridian.
No. Oh, come on.
You're out of here.
No, I needed the money. You don't understand.
But Alex, before you go, can you do the Wolfman orgasm for us?
He does, like, oh my God. So, okay.
Literally in my notes, it says bad O-face no, followed by, oh God, it's getting worse.
So I do need to go back a little bit. So basically, yeah, Payton gets dropped off. We see Audrey from Twin Peaks at her new house, and she's talking to her ghost nanny. Spoilers: we do find
You
out
don't
this.
know she's a ghost nanny yet. That was a genuine surprise to me. Did y'all see that coming?
I'll
Because I
I'll
did not.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. That what was her name? Martha?
Martha,
The
yeah.
British lady? She's been dead for 6 months. What?
Yeah, she was probably the scariest thing out of the whole movie to me, honestly. Like,
Thrills.
I mean, literally, like I'm gonna have nightmares the rest of my life with her backing off into
Oh my god.
always, always.
When you don't have the money for an effect, so you just are like, just walk backwards into the shadows while saying the same word multiple
And
times, getting
we'll do
softer.
the field of dreams fade away.
Yeah. It's gonna look great, guys.
You say Field of Dreams, but it was more Homer Simpson just disappearing into the
Into
bushes.
the
Yes, it
bushes.
was.
You are absolutely correct. That is the exact vibe.
So her
Oh,
ghost nanny was played by Hillary Mason, which listeners of this show have already seen her in a movie we've watched. She was in the episode we did for Don't Look Now. She is the scary blind woman that tells Donald Sutherland that he has the shining.
oh my god, you're right.
So we're big Hillary Mason heads over here at the Erotic Thriller Club.
What
Uh,
was that,
we
like 15 years before Meridian? Something like that?
about 20, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when Martha showed up, my first thought was, all right,
Oh,
whose grandma is this? From the crew. Hey, grandma, she's always wanted to be in a movie. Come on, you want to be in the movie? Like I don't know. I did not get actor vibes from her, but she was convincing. She was convincing.
Give off the vibes that she wanted to be here. And I understand that completely. They go to the show, right, and they see the troupe perform at their rinky dink little circus.
did you guys have a question about when did they build the stage? Like this
That
group of
stage took no more than 10 minutes to put up. That thing was shoddy as fuck.
I
yeah, but
thought it was
the
part of like a moving caravan thing, right?
Mm.
have you ever had a freak show just set up in your front yard and charge admission?
Wait, they didn't charge admission. Those two girls did not pay.
They specified at the dinner table that they're like, and the gross sales were also gross, and then they all go because those like freaks are rowdy. They invited 15 freaks into the
That
house.
was that was really scary too,
The thing
honestly.
that got me was when the little person is walking on the fucking table. Like, I know you're about to date rape, like, drug a couple people, but like, show some fucking respect. Do not walk on the table of someone who has invited you into their home. That's not okay.
They don't know how modern manners work because they live in a cave in the woods.
Oh.
And they've
Yeah,
lived in that cave
yeah.
in the woods for 400 years apparently.
Right. And in the Shining Cave, it's perfectly acceptable table manners to walk on a table as long as you are under 3 feet tall.
It's a
Exactly.
party
Exactly. I'm,
trick.
I'm
Like
glad the movie explained that to us. Um
It's so important.
I I was really scared not knowing what they were all laughing hysterically about. Like, the director was just like, all right, we need you guys to be like laughing and having a rowdy time, and there's merriment and there's craziness happening amongst you all. We need to show that you're like a rowdy bunch of characters. But like they were clear, like there was something clearly that they were clearly laughing about something, you know? And they were laughing
Mm,
hysterically, like maniacally. And their faces when they laughed in the lighting by torchlight,
mm.
that shit was that scared me. That actually freaked me out. Like
It was genuinely upsetting.
What
Yeah.
they should have included was the clip from Wedding Crashers, where just in the middle of a montage, it cuts to Owen Wilson at a table of people, and you just hear the punchline of his story, which is, and then they all said jabroni.
I'd love to see that. Yeah, that at that table.
I wanna
Absolutely.
make a one small point out though that when they do invite them there, it is the painter friend, not the girl who owns the castle, whose idea it was, which uncool. You are a guest, you should not just invite someone to your host's house. But also
Yeah.
when the host does invite them, she says, "You've worked very hard, so you are invited to have dinner at my house," which is the most, it is the ultimate non-compliment. Who among us has not gone to some friend's like one-man show and it was fucking terrible and you were so hard pressed to come up with anything good to say, so you went with, "Man, it looked like you worked really hard on that. Good job. You really got it done, man."
Come over to my house for dinner.
What'd you think of the show? Those pants look really soft. Are they soft?
Is that a real crossbow?
Must have been hard to memorize all those lines, huh?
Were those chains really metal?
So, as we're at this table, and the little guy, he slips the Mickey and wants to get a toast going, and this toast delighted me, Kit. I love the
Why?
toast.
No, I wrote
Why?
I wrote what they toast to in my notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, please recite for us
All right,
what the
well-
toast was.
All right, I'll write what I wrote. To magic and magicians.
Here, here.
And my first thought was, and apparently rape. To magic, magicians, and rape.
Yeah.
Well, and then they're like, one more though, now that these have a Mickey in them. And he goes to
Right.
illusion. And then the lady of the house just like crosses her arms and is like, I don't like illusions. Not toasting. Like, what a
No.
fucking standoff. Like, he wasn't expecting in his 400 years of doing this exact thing. No one has ever been like, nah, not into illusions.
Not illusions.
I'm an artist. I believe in truth. And he's like, well, then I guess to truth, just fucking drink it, lady. I got a schedule to keep, and it has a rape o'clock coming up.
Rape o'clock.
You mentioned that she's an artist.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple points in the movie where we see her working on her art. And the
Oh,
first
the
time
bust?
the bust.
The sculpture, yeah.
The first time we see this bust, it looks like a modest sized bust of the start of Abraham Lincoln.
I thought the same fucking thing. That was Abe Lincoln for sure.
The second time we see it throughout the movie, it's about a foot taller, but still looks like Abe Lincoln. The third time we see the finished product, this bust is now 3 feet taller than when we started and is a perfect sculpture of the rape wizard.
I don't know if you'd say perfect sculpture. I mean,
Perfect is, yeah.
it's like a talented high schooler's sculpt of the rape wizard.
Yeah, yeah. Which, considering she's been through college with an art degree, I feel like she should be a little bit better than that. Also, the fact that you just like kept adding clay and this thing grew in size exponentially, also not a great sign.
I bet someone demanded that it be bigger. It has to be bigger.
I have a feeling she showed up on set for the third shot of it and is like, I think this one's a lot bigger than when we started.
And they're like, just shut up and pretend you're making it.
Don't worry, next shot, old Fuzzy Nuts is going to be rubbing up on you, so...
Oh, Fuzzy
Okay,
Nut.
and to go back, sorry, I know we're jumping around a lot, but this movie's dumb as shit, and there's just
so
too much that keeps coming up. Opening credits, it hits one name early on that made me freeze in my tracks, and it was one name, just the name Charlie.
Charlie.
No last
I
name.
thought that too.
And did either of you think, because like typically in a movie, if there's a single name, it's either Sinbad or the name of a dog.
Yeah,
Did
right.
you
It's a
think that
dog. I thought it was a dog.
I thought the werewolf was real and his name was Charlie.
When I saw that the director's name was Charles something, I assumed it was just like him under a pseudonym.
Oh yeah. Good point.
Now it's my girl Gina.
Which one was Gina? The friend?
Gina's the braless friend, the who restores art but wants to do her own paintings.
Well, it sounds like
Her name is just Charlie?
It sounds like Charlie saw a cut of the movie and went,
Mm-mm.
take
No
my-
last name on that one, baby.
I'm just gonna be Charlie for this one.
She's also in Twin Peaks, and both of the leads are in the David Lynch movie Wild at Heart as well.
Oh my god.
But
Oh.
I looked through Charlie's career, and I found at least 3 movies we're going to be covering eventually on the
No, what are you doing to me?
How did you search for her? How did you find anything based off of Charlie?
deep dive on this podcast, man. Like this is like
This man
we put
is
in the work.
professional.
I watch every movie twice before we talk about it. And then
The
dive.
fact that you didn't make an exception for this one is bewildering
Yeah.
to me.
Seriously.
Once to absorb it and a second time to make notes. Let me read you some of her other movies, though. She was in one called Caged Fear, which got named to Young Innocent Female. To Sleep with a Vampire. And
so she's fucked a vampire and a werewolf?
Correct.
Good for her.
Should be at the top of the resume.
Somebody get this lady a mummy.
Ma'am, you're hired. Here is your apron. You were officially a sandwich artist. The third one may just be a straight up porno, though, because it's called Erotic Dreams 3.
Ooh.
Let's go back to the mansion.
Mansion.
You don't know how to describe once they get drugged and it's the dreamy sequence of them fucking, raping,
There wasn't a
gang
lot of
raping, maybe.
There wasn't a lot of fucking though. There was a lot of like,
No.
there was a lot of like dramatic movements,
There was some boob grabbing, which I thought was pretty fucking hilarious.
I warmed her up
actually.
for you.
No, the thing
He's
that's
ready
upset
and
me about
willing.
that, ready and willing. Willing is a stretch at best, sir. She is under drugs.
When he comes back in, I'm doing air quotes, guys. Good guy comes in.
Good wizard.
The rapist with a heart of gold.
Yeah.
You've got to love me, and like she definitely is more willing. But the weirdest shit.
Under a
But what-
willing is.
But what about the next fucking morning when she wakes up and she's like, I think I made a mistake last night. And then 6 hours later, she's like, I love him. What is the time frame of this whole movie?
I cannot imagine my life.
3
without
days
him.
tops.
Oh, absolutely.
My favorite bit from the morning after was the friend saying when Charlie said we should call the cops, and then Sherilyn Fenn said we can't call the cops, and I immediately paused the movie and went, yes, you can.
You
Yeah,
can.
Yes,
why
you
could
can,
you not?
and you should.
You know this person's name because he's dumb enough to have put it on his circus act. Like, tell them who he is and what he did.
And it's a circus act. Tell
Right?
the police it's a circus
Tell the
act.
police! It's like they knew that circus came from a magic rock, and therefore the cops would never be able to find them.
Right. You know what? All right. So from a character point of view, from like a plot point of view, that would make sense, except they don't know that it came from a magic rock.
No. Mm-mm. As far as they're concerned, that's just like a traveling circus that came and raped you.
And they're on to the next town in Italy.
And he's like, I know what we did was unforgivable, but... What but? What but? Where's the but?
I know.
What?
I liked how the rapist with the heart of gold approached her and was like, I've come to apologize, or I've come to say I'm sorry. And my thought was,
But what?
where are you going to go with this, pal?
Yeah.
How you
What
gonna
do you got?
sell this
What
one?
do you got? I'm really sorry that I beast raped you. I feel super bad about it.
A beautiful college grad, an unkillable werewolf with nothing to lose.
Okay, but let's talk for a second, because I would love to hear your opinions on the ethics of like a love potion, because that appears to be something of what they were under, because they're not like fighting back the whole time. They are clearly under the influence of a drug that is making them more willing than they would otherwise be. Someone tell me when it's okay and when it is not okay to give someone a potion that makes them horny.
Well, I just looked at it as a medieval roofie, and that was it. You know,
You said it's obvious that this happened?
There's nothing
I don't
obvious
think
about
that.
this.
I think she fucked the wolf man and like is an idiot. Like, yes, she was sexually assaulted,
You-
but she's also dumb as shit for like 24 hours later being like, I actually love the wolf man and I just want to
Hey
regular
now,
love him and
that's
not kill
a
him.
common thing where women justify their sexual assaults in their own mind and try to make it not sexual assault by telling themselves that they actually like the guy, that this is love, that this is okay. This is how abusers get away with shit. Is when fucking grandma's over here saying, could the man you love do such terrible things? And she's like, no.
Have you
Okay, what does that mean then? It must not have been him that did it. I'm sorry. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. He raped you.
and to piggyback off that, I thought, why isn't she doing anything to stop this? And then I, put myself in her shoes, and I thought, well, if a fucking werewolf was on top of me, I'd be kind of scared too. He might rip me to shreds. So
Guess I better kiss him.
In the fight or flight or freeze, pick fucking freeze. Do not try. That thing is dangerous.
Yeah.
Anthony chooses to kiss the werewolf in that situation. I'm happy that we know where.
I just said
Listen,
it was
man, Anthony wants to survive.
I just mean it's understandable if you were to freeze up during that situation out of fear.
If you are in a life or death situation, like say a werewolf has told you don't cry, you have to love me. In that situation, you do whatever you have to get out of that situation, up to and including pretending you love him.
But if it was the other guy, though, the other count magician guy with the frilly sleeves,
the quote unquote evil.
I mean, that's an immediate, like, you could beat the shit out of this guy. Like, he doesn't.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't have a lot on you.
I mean, have you guys ever met a real magician?
How do you define a real magician?
Have you ever met
I've never
a magician?
I've never had like dialogue with one, but I've seen one in person.
They're sad. They're sad people.
I've met a couple actors who also do like some basic sleight of hand type magic stuff, and I've met sad people before who tried to use said sleight of hand to
pick up women.
And myself included.
Did you fall for it?
No. I mean, I was like, oh, that's fun. Okay. Do you have a personality though?
No.
No.
No origin story for a magician ever is happy. There was never like a.
They're basically Batman? Is that what you're telling me? Magicians are Batman?
Trust me, Mama Wayne's pearls break, and now you're fucking guessing 7 of hearts. Is what's happening.
We were on our way home from the opera. Anyway, so see these 2 rings. They're clearly strong rings. You see, I'm putting them together, and
see, they don't come apart now.
Unlike my family.
Unlike my life.
So there I was, kissing a werewolf. Did either of you think that the werewolf was attractive?
Fuck no.
Well, no. I try, you think about these things, and I just felt
And-
like the design on the person's face, it just like
Mhm, mhm.
Lost Boys, there's expression, you're heightening what's already there, you're adjusting certain things like your eyebrows and forehead and all that such and all that type of thing, and even that continued into Buffy the Vampire Slayer,
Yeah.
like it's an iconic look, but this, it just looked
Mm-mm.
like either the actor underneath didn't have an interesting face to work with, or they were like, don't make him too scary, because it was just like bland. It was like a bland prosthetic. It wasn't interesting. It was just like in the middle.
Yeah, that's why it looked like that Animorphs middle morph. It didn't
Right,
look fully one thing or the other.
right.
Well, since this animal wasn't sexy, in both of your opinion, this can be real or cartoon, what is the sexiest animal?
Robin Hood, come on.
Fox Robin Hood?
Fox Robin Hood, 100%. No equivocating, no second guessing. From the heart, Fox Robin Hood was a goddamn. Well, Fox, I mean, 100%.
I'll
Would
have to,
ruin
I'll
my
have to
life
I'll have
for
to
Robin Hood.
watch that again. The southern.
If you didn't get it the first time, you're never gonna get it.
What about you though, Anthony? You've got
Yeah,
like
what's your beast crush?
I don't have. Does it have to be all right? So it's an animal from.
I mean, you can pick an actual real life eagle. You can pick an animated.
You could pick Beast from X-Men. I don't know if Kelsey Grammer's your thing.
Oh, give me a second on that. Garrett, you go, and then come back to me.
Yeah,
Well,
Garrett.
This came up because it made me think of one of my childhood best friends had a crush on the Lady Ninja Turtle because she had boobs.
There's a lady Ninja Turtle?
Yeah, she came later in the show, but you can tell that she's a lady because she has boobs through the show.
Like turtles are known to have.
Give her
Yeah.
Male
boobs.
breasts. Like,
How
here's
do we
the thing
make
is
her a
when you do it
woman? Give her boobs.
when you do it to Lola Bunny, I'm like, well, at least she's a mammal. That's not how rabbit tits work, but sure. But like a turtle, that's a step too far for me.
The girl gremlin in Gremlins 2, the new batch. I mean, when they end on her kissing the lens, my
Uh-huh.
my 6-year-old body was like, oh, what have we
I don't
here?
know. Oh.
She's a style icon for a whole generation too.
Mm-mm-mm.
Just the way she was going, like, ha, ha. Right?
That's what really did it for you, huh? That's
It's like
good to know.
they were just like, how do we make this gremlin a girl?
Eyelashes.
Age-old question.
Okay, I want to say, so first of all, Ghost Nanny knew the whole time that these people were evil and let them into the house anyway.
Big plot
Not
hole.
Cool.
Big plot hole.
Not cool.
The second she revealed that the circus people had come for the girl before and had killed the girl before, I was like, then why did you let them all in again at the beginning of the movie? Like,
You were there. You served them food and booze. Why?
why would you let if a group of circus people raped that girl and you knew about it, why would you let a new group of circus people back into your castle?
I don't know, but she did insult an entire group of people by saying they're like gypsies. It's like, excuse me? Excuse me, the circus people? The raping through time circus people. That's what you're gonna go with. Okay, so
Wait,
all right.
was everybody else in the castle a ghost? Was the little boy who dropped off the painting, was the other Italian guy?
Shit, Garrett.
Like,
I don't know.
because she interacts with so many people throughout this movie. On a second viewing, she does not interact with anybody from the freak show when she's at the table, and none of them ever look at her or acknowledge her. But
the nanny, you're right, does interact with the other servant. She's like, we got to get her to her room because she passed out on the floor after having sex dreams about a beast man.
I think these were fix it and post problems that just, they were like, actually, who gives a shit? Just throw it out there.
I think that's what they held on to. I think they held on to the pitch, which was, what about a sexy Beauty and the Beast?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
That's just what this movie felt
one
like.
of them is Also, did anyone else pick up on any sexual tension between the two brothers? Is that just me?
Oh, the
Me?
actor playing the same role.
Did you not? Did you not see the fucking heat behind the eyes as he was interacting with himself?
Yeah, that whole scene where he just finds him trying to kill himself.
Like you
They
do.
just start the scene with them walking in. It's like, when do you want to start? You have an opportunity for drama. Start the scene with the guy who's killing himself. Show his pain. Show his depression.
No.
No, let's have it from the other guy's perspective. Let's just walk in on it.
That's the best
And-
scene in the movie.
And then they're trying to explain the mythology and the reasoning about, okay, I can only be killed by someone who loves me.
Which is assuming why you can't kill yourself because of so much self-loathing.
Exactly. And then they, what is it? He says, "I don't love you. You do love me. You're right. I do love you, but I also hate you. But I also love you, but I really hate you." Like, there's just so much.
That's what made it so sexy.
So you're telling me that sometime over these 400 years, these two didn't just 69 once.
Oh,
No,
down in that
in that
cave.
glowing rock. In that glowing rock, where, by the way, they only had one woman in the entire circus troupe. So depending over, 400 years in a rock, you don't have a ton of options. Eventually, yes, you are going to 69 your own twin brother, the evil one.
that's a hell
What
of a
shall we do?
sentence.
You're
What shall
welcome.
we do tonight? Do we try 69 or shall we pass around the little one again?
Ugh.
One thing they weren't doing though was improving their circus act, because that shit had not had 400 years of iteration.
We've
Mhm.
performed for royalty, and some of them told us it was good.
I don't know which ones.
So, okay.
What was his name, though?
Lawrence
What,
and
Lawrence?
Oliver.
Wait, our names put together become Lawrence Olivier?
Oh my God. Wait a minute. Their names. Wait a minute. So the bad one was named Lawrence, and the good one was named Oliver.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Okay, so I just want to have a small little important point here. This
Yeah.
is my PSA that I would like to give. So, because I just recently watched Rebel Moon, right, and it was not good. But in particular, it's like, okay, we're gonna have a rape scene, so that we can show that this character is against rape, so that you'll know that he is a good guy.
Ugh.
This movie didn't even bother to do that. They still had him rape somebody, but because he was kind of sad and iffy about it, that makes him the good guy. Which, wow. But I just want to say to all future writers, filmmakers out there, not wanting to rape somebody is not a personality trait.
Mm-hmm.
I came up with a better title for the movie.
Yeah?
50 First Rapes.
Fuck you, Garrett.
Jackpot.
Damn it. Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yes.
check out, guys. This is use the R
Thank
word too much,
you,
and
thank you. Yeah,
going
again,
home.
not a personality trait. It doesn't make you a paragon of virtue. It doesn't make you a likable character. It is like baseline. You are not a psychopath. Thank you. That is my PSA. Now back to 50.
Thanks, Zack Snyder, whoever made that movie you're talking about.
Yeah, it was.
Man, what a save the cat moment for a character.
I know,
Show that
right?
show that he's a good guy by having him oppose rape in a rape scene.
Do we also show him not kicking a puppy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I will say that the man playing both brothers, there were moments that he did a very good job of convincing me he was the other brother, pretending to be the other brother. Good one, though.
Yeah, I'll actually give you that. Yeah.
That was a real twist to me. That was an actual moment of surprise as I watched this dumb shit. that I made you guys watch, and I'm so
Well,
sorry. And the longer we make
You are
Anthony
not
be
that
here
sorry.
with us, the longer that Anthony's stuck here with us, I feel worse and worse as the I watch the minutes tick on this podcast.
no, it's fine. It's fine. There's joy.
It's fine. It's fine. You've done worse things to me, honestly.
There's joy in the awfulness. It's okay. But my first thought on the reveal that it was a twin brother was, oh, they wanted to save money.
Well, they spent all their money on gargoyles.
They did have to spend a lot of money on gargoyles, and they didn't have any money for the effect of the old lady being a ghost, so she just steps backwards into the dark.
I think her elderliness, helped sell that she was,
Already dead.
close to death or dead. Yeah. No
So-
offense, lady, who played that character.
Basically, this movie comes down to she does love quote unquote good brother and
No reason why.
can kill them and make them go have peace in being dead. But the bad brother likes his life of being bad and doesn't want this to happen. So he goes around back to stab her in the tummy, and the werewolf is way off in the distance and I guess comes again because he's like, ah!
Oh, fuck. The only things that make him come are rape and killing his brother.
Last night when Anthony sent me the text that said, "What a pile of dog shit," I started laughing so hard in a way that if anyone listens to my other podcast, Predetermined, the only thing that makes me laugh this hard is when 60-year-old wrestler Sting gets hurt now. That makes me laugh. I was crying, and my wife started filming me, and the only words I could get out is Anthony had to watch the wolf man with the crossbow. And so yeah, he kills his brother
Can we
because
point out also though that the because this is 1990 and we have strong modern women, so her friend comes back to help save the day. So what does she do?
No
Strong
bra.
woman. Strong woman, no bra. She has the power to pick up the crossbow and hand it to the man so that he can do the thing.
She helped.
Good for
Okay,
you.
she helped.
Good for you. Yeah,
he's a
you
great
really
shot.
added to the scene by being here.
But long story short, she goes back to the fucking freak realm.
Mm-hmm.
And what
they
was-
don't
what
die.
was-
This isn't my world any longer.
Like, yeah, I mean, there were two realms, right? There was the red cracked door in her room,
Yeah.
the Beetlejuice door,
Mm-hmm.
and then there was the wherever the original one was with the blue light coming out of it. Like, where the fuck is this castle located? Like,
Italy.
I
And
know. but,
why
like,
the painting?
I don't know,
Ah,
man. Why
God,
the
I don't
kid
know.
Let's not
that brought
open up
the
that can
painting?
of
Why-
worms. It
Don't
didn't matter.
open up the can of worms with the
like,
painting.
the painting. I'm watching it and I'm like, okay, so to unbrush all these colors probably take an hour and a half. She's there till fucking midnight, man. I mean,
if you're doing a proper painting restoration, it can take weeks.
yeah, but the way they were like most.
The way she was just scraping at it with paper towels, yeah, that would take about
That was
an
my
hour.
first thought. I'm like, all right, at the rate you're doing this now, this isn't going to take long. You could totally bust this out in an hour. And why did it have to be at the beginning? One of my first notes was, why were they so adamant that it had to be done by Monday?
For God.
Like, you're going to do this by Monday, right? Do it by Monday. And then if you notice, when
I
they
thought this was Europe where people were more chill about,
work schedule,
not making people work on the weekends.
and then when those two men walk away, for some reason you'll see it. Charlie checks one of them out.
Hey, hot
Mm.
priest. Which I want to point out, that's the same priest that when our main girl goes to him and says, "I see visions, and they scare me." His response is like, "I don't know, just like avoid temptation, girl. Go with God. Get the fuck out of here."
Go with God, put on a bra, and wipe that painting off.
It's like, could you not tell her, like, it's 1990? Could you not say, "Hey, if you see hallucinations, maybe you should go to a doctor. No, not in Italy.
No,
Not that type of movie.
No,
we're not worried about mental
You're
health.
right. It's this. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's like we can't go to the police. I guess we can't go to the police.
Because then that would cost more money in the budget.
We don't have. Yeah. Can't bring it home.
Okay, so he's like, "This isn't my world any longer," and she's like, "I can't live without you." Okay, are you super sure about that? Yeah, definitely. All right, I guess we're all going back to the glowing rock together. And she never says goodbye to her friend. Can I just point out that like her best friend that she spent this whole movie about, like,
Yeah, there's no
does not
goodbye.
get an ending.
You could have
No
had
goodbye. Okay.
you could have had a nice, goodbye scene. Like Wizard of Oz saying goodbye, E.T. saying goodbye before they go on their big adventure. That last shot was just such a. You could just see the director like, all right, just get the wide. That's all we need. Just end it with.
All right, but it's time. You're right, Garrett. Were you aroused?
This reminded me of growing up in the 80s and 90s. You rent movies, and they're not all going to be bangers. They're not all going to be winners. And a lot of the time you rent movies that are dog shit and you don't realize it. And this brought me back to that, the production values, the fact that it was made in 1990. I would have been renting this, if if I had seen it. And arousal, I guess, it was like, I think I was thinking like, yeah, if I was 12 and I had rented this from Blockbuster Video and I had it alone in my family room and it was like, oh my God, there's boobs. And I'm looking at the crack of the door to make sure my parents aren't coming in. Like that would be the type of arousal that was going on. Otherwise, no.
So on a scale of 1 to 5, we're at a 1.
Yeah, I'd say a 1. A nostalgic arousal.
A nostalgic 1. For me, there were a good amount of boobs, and the director really wanted to stretch out the time we spent with them. So all of the sex scenes were basically in slow motion, which, while kind of boring, made for fun when he pushed them back on the bed. And there was a little more like Baywatch jiggle movement than there would have been if it hadn't been in slow motion. Also, Charlie wiping those paintings with no bra was something special. I will say, when they were cutting back and forth, there were the twin brothers who were the same man, and these two women who, if you couldn't see Sherilyn Fenn's beauty mark, they looked like the exact same person. I could not tell these two women apart in those scenes. I'll give it a soft 2.
Wow. A soft 2. It's not as good as a hard 2.
A hard 2 is close to a 3. This is like a low 2.
Okay. Well, I definitely get Anthony's point about it being like the kind of movie where you've got it on and you are constantly looking at the door to make sure that your parents aren't coming in. Like, I felt that even now as a grown-ass woman in my 30s. I was like, is somebody gonna walk in and see me watching this woman get fucked by a man in a monkey suit? Because I don't know how I feel about this. But seriously, even when I saw those lovely boobs, there was always nearby either the man in the fur or a man with poofy ass sleeves, and I can't abide that. I'm putting this at a straight 0. This is a goose egg.
Wow.
Yeah,
those
the whole
sleeves dry up.
I think the whole stench of rape kind of kept the score low for me.
See, that's for sure. For sure. Some of the problem with erotic thrillers, one, the rape, like, I normally in a movie would not joke about the rape to the level we did with this one, but this movie's
Absolutely
so
not
fucking
normally.
stupid that it feels a little more okay to joke about it. But it's usually like if there's rape or if it deals with an underage person, it's just like that. No, but this movie is like such a dumb shit fantasy that it's
For who?
for the
Whose
fucking horn
fantasy
dog
is this?
teen that catches it on Cinemax at fucking 3 a.m. Like Anthony
I
said.
think that's exactly what it is. I think that's exactly what it is. It's the 13-year-old, 14-year-old who loves drawing monsters and fairy tale creatures and fantasy shit, but also is going through puberty.
Mm-hmm.
Like a wolf.
What if Bigfoot was fucking a lady? Yeah.
What if?
Have you ever
Find
wanted
out
to
next
see?
week?
Do you like Beauty and the Beast? What about Beauty and the Beast with tits?
Well, oh gosh. I would say no, but I'm 12, so I'm desperate.
In a pinch, it'll do.
In a pinch, it'll do. All right, so scale of 1 to 5, Anthony, were you thrilled?
Oh, no. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to think if there was any moment where I was like, what's
Who are
going
you even apologizing to?
I know. God, I know.
We owe you an apology.
I don't. This was your idea. Don't put this evil on me.
I feel for the filmmakers. You do try. You try to do things. You try to get people invested. You try to get people to feel emotions and stuff. But yeah, there was nothing where I was like on the edge of my seat. No, there was a zero. I'm with you on a 0.
You just gave the equivalent of the "you've worked very hard. You can come back to my castle and have dinner."
That's it. They clearly worked very hard. I'll buy you guys a Happy Meal.
All right.
I think there's different kinds of thrills. I can be actually like on the edge of my seat, or I can have the laugh and joy that I got from watching that man try and kill himself with an arrow. Like nothing can match that for me. Like I was so happy and I'll say thrilled that he tried to do that to himself. And his brother's just like, you can't kill yourself, dumbass. We're immortal.
But I mean, it was like he walked into his brother's room and his brother was trying to kill himself, with a kitchen knife. And they're just having a conversation like, yeah, this sucks.
It's more like he caught him jerking off and he has like a towel over his crotch where he's like, were you jerking off? And he's like, no. Well, there's an arrow sticking out of your chest.
Are you trying to kill yourself again? You've been trying to do this for 400 years.
No.
Just leave me alone.
And then also I guess it did surprise me when that lady was a ghost.
Yeah, that's fair.
But only because it didn't make sense and there was no way it could be possible.
You know what? I wasn't surprised when that happened. I was relieved. My first thought was, oh, good, finally.
Somebody gets to die.
No. It was finally something interesting with this goddamn movie.
I get that.
Something I didn't see coming, something that I'm not shaking my head at, something that I'm not disappointed in, something that I'm not horrified that it was actually put on celluloid. Like, that choice to make her a ghost was like, oh, that's pretty good. Not bad.
Kit?
Garrett, wait, which number did you give it, Garrett?
Oh,
for thrills.
I'll go soft 2 again.
I would say the most emotion I felt while watching this was when they mentioned that like one of the previous ladies of the house that they had killed was only 15, and I got to add statutory to my list of different rapes. And then, like, not that long afterwards, he's, like, slapping her around. And I'm like, oh, I can add forcible now, too. So, that was the height of thrills for me.
You hit bingo on sexual assault bingo.
It was when I hit sexual assault bingo. Yeah, I'm gonna say, boy. I never really feared for anyone's life. I never was concerned. I didn't even understand how the curse worked. Neither did the movie. So it's not like I was really wrapped up in that plot. I don't know, man.
I'll admit, I was a little thrilled when it was the morning after and Sherilyn Fenn had told Martha that she was going to clean up in the morning and she hadn't cleaned up. I felt tension. I felt tension between Martha and Sherilyn Fenn. I was like, you told her you were going to clean up. And
She's
it's
like-
still
That one of those people's dead. It doesn't matter.
it's still a mess. Like
She's
you
like,
said,
I
you were gonna
can't
clean
pick
it
up.
up.
She's like,
Clean
I
it
can't
up.
pick up all
She
this
is
shit
your
with my ghost
servant.
hands.
That's why she couldn't clean it up. Yeah, I guess I'll put it at a 1. The thrills came when they did come, just from being like, what dumb shit is gonna happen next? All right.
I would
Yep,
like to just
no?
save us 5 minutes.
Okay.
I'm going to speak for the table when I say nobody in this conversation would ruin their life for anyone in this movie. If anyone has anything different to say other than that, speak up.
No, you
No.
hit the nail right on the head, pal.
What's her name from Twin Peaks? She's very pretty. But I wouldn't ruin my life for her, not after I've seen how terrible her sculpture is. So
I take her
No.
out on a date and she's like, "Can you put this mask on?" I'm like, "What is this? It's Wolfman. How am I supposed to kiss you through this?"
I did find myself wondering how the twin with the mask was enjoying any of the food or drink at the dinner table, considering he was apparently wearing that mask the whole time.
Did he have a straw?
Not that I saw.
Why are you pouring water through the eye holes, dickhead? You're making a mess.
Couldn't-
All right. Anthony, I love you. I'm sorry. If you had enough fun that you ever want to do this again, you can absolutely pick the movie. I don't know why I did this. I wasted at least 3 hours of your time.
All right, number 1, I would love to come back, and if so, number 2, I'll have my revenge.
Oh no! What have you done? I don't deserve this. What?
You're an accomplice, Kit.
I am no such thing.
We'll see.
All right.
Oh,
Anthony,
boy.
you outside of being a movie lover, you do, and like, you write, you direct, but you do make really badass posters.
Thanks, buddy.
Where can the folks find those at? Check out your artwork.
It's under Two Flame Pictures. So if you just Google Two Flame Pictures and my name, you'll find my stuff.
What 2 questions. 1, what is your all-time favorite movie poster? And what's your favorite erotic thriller poster?
Oh. There's so many movie posters. I love Drew Struzan. Who doesn't? Drew Struzan, he's an illustrator painter who's retired, but he did, all the greats like the Indiana Jones films, some Star Wars posters, the Back to the Future posters, just Harry Potter posters. He's just done so many. I love his style. I don't have a particular favorite, but the one that's always been in my house ever since I was a kid. It's like I've had this poster in my house growing up. I've had it in apartments that I've lived in. I've just always had this poster around, and it's the Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom poster. Love that one. That one's just always been up. I love it. It's just like the ultimate, like, oh, I want to see that. You see that at a movie theater, it's like, I got to see that. What the hell is going on? Who's this guy holding a fire in his hand? Skulls, and Indiana Jones is just looking at him like, yeah, I got this. Like, I love Indiana Jones and the Temple
true
of Doom.
classic.
Oh, I don't have an erotic thriller poster favorite, but I do have a favorite style, and it's any time, like, you can tell, like, the designers were like, we got to make it sexy. So let's have the font be streaks. Let's have it, like,
yeah.
and let's have it be like dangerous and steamy and with a tear. Like, I love seeing posters where, like, they're clearly, like, desperately trying to sell that it's sexy, and it's never sexy. I don't know how you make a poster sexy. I mean, obviously, if you have sexy actors, people, but just like in the style, like, you can't make, like, font sexy. You can't make.
Yes, you can. If it looks like they were too horny to write very slowly and carefully, and instead wrote in big, jagged, slashy letters.
That's what it is.
In the board meeting, they pass the poster to the head of the table, and they're like, what do you think of this one? You just see the poster comes down. It is a wolf man wearing a suit, and he just goes, ah!
God damn it, Garrett.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening to this very stupid show. We'll do good movies again soon. We've done so many. But you know what? The dog shit needs love too.
Thank you for
Anthony,
having me. This was
yeah.
Thank you for having me. This was a joy, an awful joy, but it's still a joy.
Give Anthony a follow at Two Flames Pictures on Instagram. Give us a follow at Erotic Thrillers Club. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, eroticthrillerclub@gmail.com. I am at Gartett.
I am at and Caboodle.
I'm at Knasas, Knasas.
Thank you for listening. We love you. We want to shake you naked and eat you alive.